Hello, my name is Moving Cat and welcome to week 3 of my new series on the brand new world. In this series I'm trying to get as many high age units as possible all the way up to oceanic future units in the industrial age. If you want to learn a little bit more about that and how to get that, I have a separate video going over my plan. And also in the description you will find linked the guide that I'm following made by the wonderful UberHelp on the US forums. So go check that out if you're interested. So in this video I will go over my week 3. And this week is, luckily for me, quite a bit more relaxing than previous weeks. Those videos have been very long, over 50 minutes, but this one luckily will not be that long. I do still get some very nice progress, but now we are slowly approaching a stage where there's not a lot of rapid progress. I'm of course continuing on the continent map, but scouting times are longer. I also have to wait to get the units I need in order to fight on the continent map, because I can't fight ahead a lot yet because my boosts aren't high. So yeah, we're slowly getting into a more slow and a little bit more relaxed phase of this world. But don't worry, there are still plenty of things to do and to see. And with that, let's start with day number 1. Day 1 started off with my morning collection. Then later on in the day I did a lot of continent map fights. I started off by taking the entire Todespass bonus province in one go, using 8 catapults for the first 4 sectors, all with the same strategy of damaging all units once on wave 1, then one by one taking down the closest units to my catapults, making sure to stay out of the range of the other units. The final 2 sectors I used mounted archers for. As I mentioned in my last episode, this is a strategy that works very well against the bonus provinces. You simply deal damage once to all the enemy units, then you take them down one by one on the next waves. You will lose some mounted archers, but it's a very safe strategy, and if like me you have mounted archers barracks in your city, it isn't that expensive and you'll easily be able to recruit them again. So that's what I did. Later on, I completed the daily challenge with a chance to get a lot of rogues or even a rogue hideout, but I only got one rogue. Sad face. Anyways, I then continued taking some more bonus sectors, taking 2 Steilsturz sectors using the classic 8 artillery approach. little bit later I did another Steilsturz sector, this time using the 8 mounted archer strategy. And that's about it for day number 1, so let's move on to day number 2. I started off the day by doing some guild expedition, but going forward I probably won't show a lot from it, because at the moment I'm doing 3 levels per week, but as I showed that in my last week, in the last episode, I don't really see any point of showing that in this video and going forward, so like a lot of other aspects of the game, like GBG, settlements, PvP and so on, I am doing them, assume I'm doing them, but I don't see any point in actually showing them in these videos. And that's another thing, I'm not going to be showing PvP in this in this video. I showed that last video, so don't see any point in repeating that. Anyways, a bit later I did the final sector of Steilsturz, again using 8 mounted archers. After completing it, I got myself an avatar, which is nice. Not my favorite one, to be honest, but I might as well use it for a bit until I get a better one. Later on, I got another expansion, placed down some more houses, and finally removed the longhouse. It's a good building, but it's not that useful anymore. So with the freed up space and the new houses, I built one more goods building instead. I haven't researched any EMA goods buildings, so you'll notice that I only have Iron Age goods buildings for now. I don't plan on unlocking any EMA goods buildings because they are all optional technologies, and as I go over in my intro to this series, I need to save as many of those as possible for later on in the story quests. In the future, when I move up to High Middle Ages, I will be unlocking goods buildings for that, so my plan is to jump from Iron Age to High Middle Ages goods buildings. Anyways, that's about it for day number 2, so day 3 started off with some collections, and then I finally unlocked the catapult barracks. So I wanted to replace some of my mercenary barracks with the catapults, but before I do that, before I deleted those barracks, I decided to use up the units on the continent map, because why not? Why wouldn't you do that? So I did the first Tarmelmann sector, using 8 of my attached mercenaries. I lost quite a few of them, but that was kind of the goal anyways. So with that, I deleted the barracks and I started rebuilding and placed down some catapults, getting 2 of those barracks in the end. They cost quite a lot more population than the other barracks, so I did have to rebuild a little bit to get some more houses and so on. I then went on to do something that I probably shouldn't have done. I pushed really hard in the guild expedition because I really wanted to level up my castle system today, and that was the final way I could get points during that day. So in the process of that, I kind of lost 5 unattached catapults, which kind of sucks, but luckily now that I have those 2 barracks, I can at least get some attached ones, recruit those, and hopefully that should keep me going. So I wasn't that worried, but still losing 5 unattached ones kind of sucks. Anyways, a little bit later I finally did the last encounter of level 2, which was enough to level up my castle system. So I immediately placed down the rogue hideout I got from that, so now I could finally start recruiting some rogues and fighting with those. Because that's something I've really been missing on this new world, because I simply haven't had any rogues. So yeah, with that, it's time to move on to day 4. This day was the start of the Halloween event, so I started doing some event quests. Now, again here, I don't think showing me completing all of these quests will be very interesting. You all know about the event and the quests and so on, so yeah, I simply won't be showing it. Just know that I am doing it again. Another aspect I am doing, but not worth showing in these videos. And well, that's actually about it for day number 4. I focused quite hard on the event, so I didn't really do any other other features, other aspects of the game. So yeah, let's just move on to day number 5 that had some more action. Day number 5 started with my morning collection as usual, and then I finally completed my first Vikings run. I actually did it with plenty of time to spare, so I can now finally build the Yggdrasil, and even at level 1 it's a really good building this early on, so definitely worth getting. And I also got the time reward, because that's also quite nice, some forge points there. I then went back to the continent map to do 2 sectors for the daily challenge. I started with the first Centuria sector, and here I finally got to use some rogues. I used a combination of 6 artillery and 2 rogues, and I was a bit unlucky with the amount of damage one of my rogues dealt, so I actually ended up losing a rogue, but luckily it was the attached one that I recruited in my new rogue hideout, so I could at least recruit that again. I then did another Tarmelmann bonus sector, this time using 8 artillery. I lost one, and of course that was one of the unattached ones. But again, not that big of a deal, because I am recruiting them now, so yeah. I completed the daily challenge, I got myself a wishing well, which is very interesting. But actually decided to sell it to the antiques dealer. Yes, this will eventually kind of function as a diamond farm this world, but this early on the wishing well isn't really worth the space, and I really need to focus on attack so that I can get those higher rage units, so for now I would rather sell it and use the coins I get in the antiques dealer to get other items that are very helpful this early on. And as you'll see a little bit later in this episode, but also in next week's episode, those coins really come in handy. I get some nice items in the antiques dealer. Anyways, speaking of the antiques dealer, a bit later on in the day, I won a Sentinel upgrade kit for only 2.2 thousand coins. I don't have a Sentinel yet, but that will come in handy later on when I get that. Eventually I will get one, so that's nice. I then decided to place a mystical organ that I got from the Halloween event, from one of the kits I got from the story lines, from the bonus event quest, sorry. For most of the time, I've had quite a bit of problem with happiness. I've had to have my marketplaces polished in order not to have unhappy population, so placing that gave me a little bit more breathing room, because it gives quite a lot of happiness for such a small building. Anyways, a bit later I did 2 more Tarmelmann bonus sectors using the classic 8 artillery approach. Both of them went very smoothly. I took a bit of damage in both, but thanks to some nice maneuvering I didn't lose any units. Day 6 was another day pretty much only focused on the event quests. This was during the weekend, so I had plenty of time to focus on those, but I didn't actually do much else. I did get quite far though in the quests. I managed to complete all of the rush quests, which should make the rest of the event quite easy to complete. And in case you didn't know, I've mentioned it in quite a few videos actually, that my goal for this event is to get a lot of botanical rotundas. So I'm basically just waiting for those to appear. Anyways, day 7 was also quite chill. Didn't do too much. I did get 5 rogues from the daily challenge, which is really nice. I now finally had enough rogues to use the classic 2 artillery and 6 rogue strategy, something I used a lot on my main world when I started that back in 2018. So the first thing I did was I wanted to try that out in Guild Expedition without much luck. My boosts are simply too low at the moment, so I retreated before things got too ugly, so I didn't lose any of the rogues, but yeah, I can't really use them yet very successfully in the Guild Expedition, which kind of sucks, but I kind of expected that. But anyways, once I get some more attack boosts, they should come in really handy. Except for that though, the day and the week ended on quite a strong point. I finally, after a lot of waiting, got my last Zeus blueprint. So now I could finally construct it and start working on getting my attack boosts up so that I will have an easier time with fighting with rogues and so on. I was also running out of technologies to spend my forge points on, so I was very happy to finally get that. And well, that's about it for this week, for this video. So if you liked it, please leave a like and a comment. It really helps me out. And as I mentioned in other videos, these do take some more effort for me to make. So really appreciate that if you like this. And if you want to catch future episodes of this series, make sure to subscribe so you can see when I upload them. Also, as you probably know, I'm not great at following my own schedule, but I will try moving forward to release these on each Monday after each week. Anyways, that's about it, but before I end this video, I would like to thank my Patreons. I would like to thank Homestar, Merrick P, PQ the Goat, Ockler, Sabathiel, Hukakant von Count, Jan Fredriksen, Jude the Generous, Rocco, Henrik der Erklärber, and Mattea. Thank you all very much for your support. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the future.